So with Black Bolt and White Flare, when should you invest? When should you buy? Should you buy? Should you sell? Should you keep sealed? All of the big questions have got to be answered. And we've already seen that the product obviously is going to be scout, bought, purchased, sold at ridiculous rates. The big question we've got that nobody knows the answer to as of yet, because we've still got Destined Rivals to go, Journey Together's obviously coming down, is how much printing has gone onto this set. We're seeing more potential releases for 151 in Smiths. I don't think it's going to be enough like for the 151 for the Prismatic. I think because all of the product is completely out there and then it's just restocking, it's almost at the point where it's like, well, it doesn't matter how much you print out, it's going to be bought because it's all in a little bit. You need it as one big, here's a pile of it. You cannot physically buy it all. And if you do, if it doesn't sell, that's going to be the big crisis for a lot of people. But realistically, we know that this set is going to be incredible. It's going to be one that is well worth opening and keeping sealed, to be honest. As a collector of the cards, I personally would open up at least one of every product. I'd like to open up an ETB. I would like to keep an ETB, just as a rainy day. Now, would I suggest to ever scout this sort of thing? Absolutely not. I can't. I like a sealed collection. I'm a big fan of, if you want to keep one of every product, if you want to keep a case of every product, if that is your thing, then that's absolutely fine. That's not a problem. But taking the product, for instance, if we was to look over here and take this product right now, I went and got a Black Bolt ETB, put 40 quid on it because it's about 40 to 50 quid at market price, and there you go, eBay, thank you very much, $200, next one, please. That for me is just, I can't get on board with it. Like, I get if you're a shop and you don't necessarily get a full distribution and you've got to keep it within a reason of market price to keep yourself going. But say if you've got an LGS whatever coming out and they've got 150 Black Bolt ETBs on day of launch and they're all £150, then yeah, I'm not buying them from there. You will get shops that will give you it full market price and they'll give you just one, which is exactly what it should be at this point in the hobby at the moment. If you're going out and buying all of these just to sell them on that secondary market the same day, I can't get on board with that. But I'm talking more towards if you want to keep it for the classic 3 to 5 years, or if you want to even just keep it for a year, because we know that products are going up in general. It is a very good time to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time in Pokemon. That eventually will disappear. We will still go back to that 5-year market where you will find products, and also certain products will do a very good number in their price, because naturally as collectibles get older, there's going to be less of them. Now, obviously, with the printing, we're getting more and more. You're not necessarily going to find the vintage numbers on a lot of these products, but they're still going to be relatively up there. You look at the likes of Prismatic, and I think that's a great analogy to come back to, because obviously, when you do look at the likes of Prismatic, that is probably one of the most sought after sets in the modern era. In the instant of it. It wasn't even necessarily that it was on the shelves for a day, a week. It was on the shelves for about an hour, if that, depending on how much you got, and suddenly it was gone. It just flew. Now, obviously, at the minute, the pack's coming in at $11 of market price. I think I found Magic Madhouse, you get about $8.50. You can find product, it's obviously out there, it's just at an inflated price. We look at something like the booster bundles, they're coming in on market at $66. Now, if you go for the whole year, we can see there was a massive boom. It went up. This was the major hype. It came down a little bit, and then obviously you got a few more people wanting it by the looks of the graph. If we go 6 months, this will show you a bit more. And we are starting to see it slowly fall, but realistically it already started at $60. This product in dollar form should be about 35, I want to say, from market price. Like normally you can get booster bundles for like 20 to 25 pounds. So already seeing it start at that 60 is the full sense of it. It's not going below market when it hits this price. That's already above market in the fact that this was the pre-sale as well. So it is absolutely crazy, let alone any of the ETBs for it. I think that is one that I've just not found. I got one, no, did I get, I think I got two. I managed to get 2 ETBs, and that is all I've managed to get, and I think it's not even on here. Is it on this page? I don't think I've there it is. Not the, as I say, not the Pokemon version, but just the normal ETB. Again, you're looking at it as kind of one of them products that normally doesn't really hit too much, because naturally once you've got one, there's you move on to the booster bundles on a special set, so you can kind of see on the pre-sale market all the way up to 150, drop down a little bit once it did come out, and then again we've kind of seen it go up, and it is slowly coming down again. Also, this is not the market price. $102 is not a market price for an ETB. An ETB comes in at about £45. I believe that's like $55 to $60 maybe. So it's already $40 above market. Black Bolt and White Flare is going to be the same. It's bound to be. You've obviously got the two different sets, but the problem is the question is, you've got all of these cards coming. The only question we don't know is, what is the hit rate going to be like? Prismatic only had SARs. The hit rate was atrocious. We thought it could potentially be like a Crown Zenith, where you've got huge amounts of very, very high-end pulls. You thought, well, if there's no illustration rares, we should be able to get the SARs just like the illustration rares. No. It was double, triple as hard. Whereas Journey Together, total opposite. Incredibly easy to get the set. Hence why the prices are coming down. That is going to be the big thing with this, because there is 165, or give or take over 165 illustration, special, hyper, black and white rarity available in it. I'm assuming you're going to have a very good hit rate. You may not have a good hit rate for the black and white rarity. That's obviously a given. But then the SARs, it all depends on how hard they are to truly get. I imagine that the illustration rares should be pretty easy to get. With there being 165, I'd even argue that there should be one in every pack, which would help the market kind of go with them. So the age-old question is, should you open it or keep it sealed? That is, he needs to definitely kind of get that on a copyright, because that is a great saying. The basic premise for it for me is, I would personally open up as much as you can in market price. Would I say go out and buy out of market price stuff? I would probably say no. I just think if you are looking from an investment point of view, definitely if you can get it market, keep it sealed. It's bound to do well. I'm not giving you the advice, but it's bound to. I mean, it's almost like you see a red Ferrari in the middle of the street and think, is that going to sell? Of course it is. It's bound to. It's beautiful gen. It should be beautiful artwork from what we've seen so far. Obviously, it's a special set, so no booster boxes. That's already going to drive up quite a lot, because there is going to be limited amounts, and we don't know where the printing's at. Now, if they print it to be beyond belief, I can imagine, because we're still in that hype period, it will be bought out quite quickly. You should hopefully still be able to get some of it at least, but it will just be having to stand outside the shop at 9 a.m, 8 a.m, wherever you live, and try and get the first rounds of it. That's going to be the main thing that you're going to have to do, really, in terms of this set specifically. If they do print crazy amounts and they keep printing, maybe we see it drop down, hence why I'm not suggesting going out and buying it for the market price. You buy it for the MSRP, you buy it for that £40 for an ETB, £30 for a booster bundle. If you can find it just above at 40 compared to like we've seen at 60, 70 for the booster bundles, then yeah, go and buy it at that. But I see them really printing this one consistently. If we're still getting 151 products, more than likely we'll get Prismatic as well. This, more than likely being the later set, will keep printing for quite some time. So I wouldn't necessarily rush too far into it. I would say personally for me, I would open and keep. I would definitely try if you've got the funds for it. Obviously, don't bank on the fact that you're going to make money off this set. Personally, I would love the art rares and everything from this set for a binder, but then also a sealed product would be really nice for it. So I would suggest that the set is well worth the MSRP. The market price, I would say you've definitely got to be very careful of. I wouldn't be buying anything in pre-sales, in pre-orders like that. If you can get a pre-order on the site, then 100%. But even then, sitting on Pokemon Center and waiting, I just don't see the point at this point. With all of the scalpers, the kind of markets, how it is, it's going to be almost 4 or 5 hours worth of wasted for what I've seen anyway. But overall, it's going to be an incredible set, as we know. It should be one of them sets that will come out like 151 and just be incredible. And failing it, if you can't get the product, buy it single. It's going to be incredibly difficult to master, to get the complete set. It's gonna be very, very costly. So at the very minimum, if you can only find a little bit of product, go for the singles. It's a much easier experience. Have that fun where you go out to shops. You maybe, if you have it with a partner, if you have it with a few friends, that you go out and find the cards, go to different card shops and have a look. See if you can haggle some deals. Go to the trade events. Go to obviously the market events, like the proper big kind of sold out arena things. Then definitely card shows, that's what I'm looking for. Go to them and see what you can find. You'll find that you'll have a much more better experience than stressing over trying to get sealed product to open for cheap enough, or potentially trying to get it for the investment side of it. Have some fun in the hobby. It's underrated. Don't worry about the FOMO. Singles are still everybody's best friend. So let me know your thoughts on it. If you've managed to get any pre-orders, leave it in the comment section below. I'd be interested to see what you've got, and hopefully we have a good launch for this. But first, it's Destined Rivals, baby. Peace.